Happy Sunday, you wonderful people. Welcome to the Jaden Show. I'm Jaden Cornelious, your host for the next few minutes. Maybe a little bit longer than that, I feel. We are going all the way around the corner today to Mexico, where I already am, to meet singer, songwriter, musician Geordie Austen. Now, this boy is from New York, but he's currently resided in Quintana Roo in Mexico, and you're going to meet him. But before you meet him, I think we should sit down, chill out. If you've got your cup of tea ready, get that to your gob now, and let's watch a video from Geordie. See you. Let's go and meet this week's super special guest, the amazing Mr. Geordie Austen. Geordie Austen, welcome to the Jaden Show. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? It's a pleasure to be here.
It's lovely to have you on my show, quite frankly, although we're kind of almost neighbours.
Yeah.
I'm loving the Mexican art behind you. That's really beautiful, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
That's super, super cool.
Nice. Yeah.
So, loving your music. Very excited to be talking about your music that came out last week. Before we talk about that, how did it all start? This little boy called Geordie hanging around with his mates, kicking back after school. Was you going home and listening to the Bee Gees, or was it completely something different?
as a matter of fact, the Bee Gees were a big deal for me when I was a kid.
They were huge, mate.
Well, because Saturday Night Fever, came out, and my dad actually, much to my mother's chagrin, my dad took me to see that movie when I was about 8 or 9 years old on 86th Street in New York City. And yes, I learned some new words and some great new music.
Some good harmonies.
some great harmonies, yeah. Yeah, I mean, between that, Carole King, Joni Mitchell, Dylan, Neil Young, the Stones, that's what I grew up listening to. Although, actually, I recently recalled my very first music I ever purchased for myself, like with some pocket money, was the Kiss double platinum, double cassette.
Okay.
It's kind of funny.
Wow, man. So was that because that was what your family were into, or that was your pure personal taste?
Oh, no, that's what my family was listening to.
Okay.
Yeah. And Joan Baez.
Okay, wow, fantastic. So when did your love for music progress? When did you decide that you want to be more than just a listener and that you actually want to be doing something serious about this?
Well, that's actually a really good question, because for me, it didn't really happen until quite late. It happened in college. I was a classical musician. I played clarinet. I started on recorder when I was about 5 because I suppose I demonstrated some ability, and other kids were playing baseball or chess or whatever, and I was playing music. And then I got to high school and I was playing clarinet in the high school band. And honestly, it's not that I was so good, but it was just that I was quite serious, and they were just kind of a bunch of yahoos. They were blowing spitballs through their trombones, and I don't know. I was kind of a serious young guy, and I got turned off to it, basically,
Right.
And then I just sort of stopped. And then I got to college, and I had a roommate, and this guy had a 4-track, which I'd never heard of. It had never occurred to me to write my own song. And my roommate and I used to sit there and jam songs, and it was just the greatest thing I'd ever done in my life. And so myself, wow, I wonder if I can do that, And then that's where I started. I wrote my first song maybe when I was 19.
Right. Okay. And did you decide then that now you're writing, you want to be a performer? So did it literally go from writing my own song, I need people to hear this, let's get it out there?
Well, yeah. Because my friend Gonza and I, we had a band called the Push Me Pull You Duo, which is basically Geordie and Gonza, as everybody knew us. And we were in New York. We were both going to NYU, and we would play between sets, for like bands like the Spin Doctors and stuff like this, who were playing in bars at that time, and Blues Traveler, and we just played talent shows and little bars around the East Village in New York. Yeah, I mean, it was the best thing I'd ever done in my life,
So pretty much through your whole life, you've been into music in some way, shape, or form.
Pretty much. I mean, also, my mom used to take me to the symphony when I was a young boy. I was very lucky to have a good mom like that. And, I remember getting pins and needles, and she took me to Broadway. I saw like the original King and I and all this.
Oh.
And, music just made me feel something, Do
you have siblings?
I do.
Are they into music, or were you the only one? Was you the black note of the family?
I am the black note of the family. Yes.
Really sweet. How lucky you, man.
Yeah.
So
my mom loves me. Sorry?
No, carry on. Your mom loves music.
No, I was going to say my mom loves music, but she had a real tough mother. Her mother, my grandmother was a concert pianist. She went to Juilliard, and she sort of beat the joy out of my mother, who then kind of tried to beat it out of me a little bit. You know what I mean? It was kind of like practice, don't have any fun. So that's why when I got to college and there was the acoustic guitar, this is the story of rock and roll. I mean, you just set up in a garage and you start to play 3-chord songs. This was, you know what I mean? That's what I needed. I didn't really need classical theory so much.
How did you discover about yourself? I mean, was it about being a musician and then the singing kind of happened as a like a natural progression, or you know, did you want to do both at the same time? Did you always want to be a singer that performs your own stuff, writes your own stuff, and you know, or was it like I used to play guitar, and all of a sudden I started singing and everyone loved it, so I decided that I wanted to be a singer?
No, I definitely. I mean, you are a singer, my friend. I don't think of myself as a singer. I really think of myself as a songwriter.
Okay.
You know, I mean, there's, you know, Duke Ellington and people like this talk about this all the time. There's a difference between player chops and composer chops, you know. And for me, I wanted to write great songs, and I still hope maybe someday I will. You know, that's a lifelong goal. But as far as like being a singer, like I never knew anybody else's songs. I never learned one other song. I used to only write my own songs.
Okay, wow.
And in fact, it wasn't actually, in fact, until I came to Puerto Morelos, where they, you know, they really appreciate you playing covers and versiones and stuff like this, that I actually started learning other people's songs. My whole life, I had only quite stubbornly just tried to write my own.
That's super cool, man. That's amazing. So how long have you been living in Mexico now?
2 years now.
2 years, yeah?
2 years, yeah. And you know what? I've learned 45 songs since I've been down here.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I remember I was only going to do classical crossover. I'd done pop in the 90s, and I was like, no, I'm just doing classical stuff now. I'm going to make my way as like the bad boy classical singer. And I remember I came over here with 30 tracks, maybe even a couple less, maybe. And I was halfway through in Dorma, and someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, do you know any Whitney? And I'm like, you don't fucking into rap Pavarotti. When I'm like, what the hell? Yes, I know Whitney. So after Ness and Daughters, oh, I dance with somebody. What the hell? So now I got a gig on every Friday and Sunday night at the same place. This was a couple of years ago, maybe even last year. And so I've gone from 30 tracks to over 600 in less than a year.
Wow.
But now
really?
I don't remember lyrics to songs I've been singing for 30 years.
Well, that's the thing is when I say I learned 45, I mean with the lyrics.
Yeah, helping. Yeah.
I don't read lyrics. I guess that's why that's impressive to me myself.
Oh, that's
personally.
bloody impressive, mate. I couldn't do it.
You know, just because I mean from not knowing any. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I knew a few. I knew like I knew like 4 covers before, you know. So anyway, it's just, you know, it's a different head, you know, it's a different type of. But I want to hear you sing Whitney Houston, by the way.
You might be very sorry you said that, dude.
I doubt that, although she's certainly a tough act to follow, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was always a big believer in you don't touch the greats. Like, you really don't even attempt that. But then I think COVID helped me as well, in the sense that we realized how fragile this industry is. And you know, the old industry where you are pigeonholed, like, you know, you are a R&B pop singer, or you are a classical crossover singer, and God forbid that you should ever veer off that path. You have to pigeonhole your something. And then, I mean, I probably started changing before COVID because I was on my own in Mexico. But I kind of think that with COVID, you just think, shit, we don't know tomorrow if we're ever going to play in public again. I mean, literally, there could be another pandemic next Thursday, you know, we just don't know. So for me, it was like, do you know, I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to sing all the songs that I used to love listening to, the stuff that I used to want to sing when I was a kid, the stuff that I had a hairbrush in front of the mirror singing when I was a kid. Now I can do it with a mic standing at Lola y Moya. And it's amazing because I always sound like me. And it's quite, I mean, I kind of say as a joke in my shows, there is nowhere else in the whole entire planet where you're going to get a short, fat, tattooed London boy singing Pavarotti and Ave Maria to Tina Turner, Oasis, Michael Jackson, Celine Dion, Dua Lipa in the same set. And it seems to flow quite nicely. Because I'm always Jaden when I'm singing. And obviously I don't go, oh, I want to dance with somebody, because I would punch myself if I ever did that. But I'm just staying authentic to the stuff. Obviously you have to change your vocal with the genre of the song. You know, like I could sing Pavarotti like that, but I couldn't sing Whitney like that. Right. So you change, but it all just seems to flow. And I just think that's the blessing almost that COVID has brought us musicians, that as long as you're authentic to you, you can pretty much do what you want now.
Yeah,
you know,
I like the sound of that.
So
especially in this town too. Puerto Morelos is very forgiving.
Yeah, absolutely, and very encouraging.
Yeah.
At the same time, so there's always something for everybody. So you're in a group at the moment, aren't you? This is what you're doing at the moment.
Well, I have two. I have a duo with a guy named Changora, who has a great band called Tree Funkers. I might add, shout out to Tree Funkers.
Okay.
And that's a duo that we do around town. We actually do some of my own songs and then covers. We're called the Why Nots.
Yes, that's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have my own band, actually with Hime, and a guy named Hector and Chango on the cajon, and that's great. We're actually working on a record at the moment.
Amazing, man.
Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, that's
the boy
pretty much
is busy.
The Geordie Austen band. This Geordie Austen group or Geordie Austen band, something like that. Yeah.
Sweet, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
You don't have much time to do anything else, quite frankly.
What's that?
Sounds like you don't have much time to do anything else, quite frankly.
Well, like all musicians, I have a little, I do a little something on the side, taxi service and things like this. But yeah, no, it keeps me busy for sure. Wow. And just learning new covers, and for some reason, I've just been writing a bunch of songs down here in Puerto Morelos. I don't know. It's been very kind of fecund here for me so far. Yeah.
Well, maybe we should do something in the future as well, quite frankly.
I hope. I hope we can.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. Speaking of which, by the way, my mom, apparently loves karaoke. I had no idea. So
really,
we're going to be coming down there soon.
Fantastic. I shall be looking forward to that. So what are your plans for the future? Where do you see all these projects going, or where is what is your hope for these projects?
Well, that's a really good question. My dream would be, my personal dream would be for my band to start playing around here more, playing in people's gardens, playing in people's homes. We've already played in the square here. We've played a few places, but like down in Bacalar, Merida,
nice.
Around, you know what I mean? Like touring a little bit locally, I would be very happy with that. And as far as the Why Nots, we're looking for more work. I'm not really sure what that is like. It's hard to say. This is a very kind of there's a lot of opportunities here, but you have to kind of make them for yourself. So I'm sort of exploring
no one
that.
Comes to find you. Not at all.
I'm certainly not going to stop being a recording artist. You know what I mean? For example, me and my friend Hector, we have been working on a new single, a couple of songs that have come out really interestingly. He's Mexican, and I'm originally from New York, and it's so much fun working with someone new. New stuff happens.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of how I'm looking at my time here. Is I don't really know. I'm sort of working with several different projects and kind of trying to figure out sort of what rises to the top. Yeah,
just being in the moment, right?
Yeah, kind of. There's a lot of creative people around here. Another one. Yeah, one thought. They love cover bands around here. One thing I've been seriously toying with is starting a Tom Petty cover band because I love his music and we do a bunch of his songs with the Why Nots, and my voice is really good for that stuff.
Yeah, amazing, man. Yeah,
so I don't know, but yeah, that's what I see. I don't. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable goal.
No,
I'd
it's
like
a
to
nice goal as well, man.
Record deal, on a label and tour Europe, but
that would be nice. But I kind of
Yucatan Peninsula is a good start. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of think that's over the past few years that's kind of lost its pull for me now. Really, I think you end up being completely controlled as to what you can do, what you can wear, what you can sound like, and then you've got to pay all the money back anyway. So.
Well, what's funny is, Neil Young recently said basically concert touring in the U.S. is dead. It's broken because there's such exorbitant fees, to like Ticketmaster and this. But having said that, now that I don't live in the U.S. anymore, the U.S. musical kind of indie musical scene is a real kind of juggernaut. It's a force of nature, and it's real cool. But now that I'm outside of the U.S., for example, like my girlfriend, like she listens to all this music that I have never heard in my life, and it's like slightly lower production values, but it's like it's a little more homespun. But it's like I feel like there's a lot of music outside the industry that's really starting to happen. Okay, so I guess so to me, I feel like I'm starting to open up to that. You know what I mean? And for example, the music, the single that I'm just about to come out with, like we did at my friend's apartment. I mean, that's sort of maybe that's a hush hush secret, but that's how a lot of music gets done now.
Well,
you know, like this guy's really like, what, really? But you know, it sounds quite good. You know.
I think it was, I can't remember the name of the group, Something City, but they recorded a song called Fireflies, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
And apparently that was all done in their bedroom. Like, and it was like a huge hit in the UK, huge hit in the States, and it was all done in the studio in their bedroom.
Yeah, I mean, she has all these, and they happen to be, she really likes an English voice, as do I, but it's all these weird music that is definitely coming out of England, and it's very strange that, you know, it's cool, but it's just nothing that I've ever heard, you know.
That's weird. I think it's amazing that we can, you know, I was watching this interview with one of the, like, I don't know, like the executive producers, one of Jay-Z's producers or something, and he was basically saying, in all honesty, you might as well just get a bloody bank loan and do it yourself, because that's effectively what record labels are doing. You know, like,
oh, absolutely, yeah,
money back anyway, but at least you can stay true and authentic. You can do what you want to do and pay for your own promotional team and pay for your own tours. And, you know, he said, because actually the record companies just take now. They don't really, when I was younger, you know, back in the 90s, you would get an advance from the record label and it was wonderful. It was all very glamorous and great. But now, like, but all they took was a percentage of your record sales, because that was shop sales. But your merchandising and your touring was your money. So that's where you made the most money. And if you wrote the songs, even better. Now they do a 360 deal. So they take a huge percentage of your writing, of your touring, of your merchandising, of your downloading, of your streaming. So actually, you do all the bloody work. I released a reggaeton single with a guy who lives in now Cancun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on my, check it out, it's on my YouTube.
I will.
But it's all shot in Puerto Morelos a couple of years ago. It was really cool.
Really?
Yeah, a friend of mine is an amazing reggaeton artist, a rapper and everything. And everything that comes out of his stable is pretty gold. I mean, he's a good boy. And we met at we were judging a talent show, and he said we should do something. I said, yeah, let's do it. So we co-wrote this kind of, you know, this pop reggaeton kind of vibe. Took us about a year to get together, but then we shot this really beautiful video in my garden and different places within Puerto Morelos. And we released it, and there was a record company I think it was 2 record companies in Spain and 1 record company in America that were really, really super interested in everything. But they kind of said, oh, no, we really like it, mate. But, you know, we didn't like that hi-hat. You know, can you change the hi-hat? And we were just like, if you don't like it, you can change the hi-hat. No, you can sign us and then you change the song as you want it. But, you know.
The hi-hat? Are you kidding me?
It was all just something like, it was the tiniest thing, but they wanted you to present it exactly how they wanted it. And they said, but, you know, you don't have that many YouTube followers. So, you know, we're taking a bit of a risk. I'm like, oh, man. I was like, okay, don't worry. It's all good. We'll keep playing around with our music. Don't you worry. We won't use the hi-hat.
Yeah, we'll keep having fun with it.
You know? Yeah, you know, but it was a bloody amazing. But now it's just seemed, do it yourself, really. You know, get your Geordie Austen team around you and get, you know, people to help with your promotions and your social media and stuff like that. And
well, I do have a little team, and you know, like for example, like someone you sing with too, Hime. You know Hime?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Hime is really fun to make music with, you know. So that's, you know, I'm finding good people around here, you know.
Yes, Hime is. Yeah. She was actually on my show when it first started. Actually, she's a.
I assumed so. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a good girl. Yeah. I'm missing you with her. But anyway, well, I'm so grateful for you coming on my show. Where can all my 7 fans and a whippet find you on social media? Where are you?
Well, I use Bandcamp. I put out a record during the pandemic that I made in my apartment in New York, in the closet. That's just me, an acoustic guitar, called False Contours.
Okay.
You can find that on there. There's some T-shirts as well, if that's your sort of thing. And Instagram, Geordie Austen, at Geordie Austen, Austen with an E, Geordie Austen. I'm on Facebook, obviously. And that's about it. Yeah, my YouTube. Yeah. But I mean, Bandcamp is really where my music is. I have a bunch of records on there, but you know, things are changing for me. You know, I did a bunch of records at home, and you know, there's about 8 records on there. But you know,
before we go, let's quickly talk about. You just recently, last week, had 2 new releases: Marmalade Shag and also Soledad.
Yeah.
Yes, my Spanish and English was getting confused then. So tell us about them quickly.
Well, as I was saying before, I did them. I wrote the songs. Marmalade Shag is I don't know. I don't know what I would say about it. It's a personal song. It's a significant song to me. But I don't know. I like them. They're songs I wrote down here, and I ended up doing them with this new friend of mine, and we went in some different directions than I've gone in before, and I think you know, I'm excited. I'm excited for people to hear them, and they're fresh. You know, your freshest stuff is always the most exciting. That record I made in New York, it feels like a whole nother lifetime ago. Really? You know. Yeah, it really does. I play a couple of songs off there, but I mean, yeah, everything's just changed so much, you know, since I've been down
right? Here. You can't not change, you know, you're jumping quite a way down south and living a new life in a new climate, and, you know,
yeah,
things have got to change, right?
It's really different. And also just the people, you know, different people in my life, you know, I think that's the biggest change, you know, different people, different rhythms. You know?
Are you loving your time in Mexico?
I am loving my time in Mexico. Yes, I am. Yeah. It's a big change, but I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm loving it because I've been very fortunate to meet some beautiful people. You know, I always have this debate with people. You know, the palm trees, the beach, the sunsets, and I mean, I've never looked at the physical world as being, you know, specifically some better than, you know, like fog versus sun. It's all quite beautiful to me, you know. But I do think that there are some people here that are quite special, quite nice, or at least I am in a place in my life where I'm open, you know. It's a combo of those things, you know. I mean, there are plenty of nice people in New York. I just, for whatever reason, it was I don't know, it wasn't quite jiving for me over there, you know. So here I'm feeling quite fulfilled. I'm feeling like life is a little bit more balanced for me here. Yeah.
And your Spanish? Tu español?
Estoy mejorando día a día.
Ah, qué cool. Qué cool. Quiero lo mismo para mí también.
Es un proceso, pero, you know, lentamente.
Sí. And it's just confidence to keep trying, right?
It is. Yeah. I can say about anything as long as I can go very slow, and as long as people talk slowly to me. That's where I'm at. Yeah. But somebody will say something in perfect regular Spanish tone and speed, and I'll say, "What?" And then they'll say it slow, and I'll be like, "Oh, I know exactly what you just said. It's just that you said it lightning fast. But if you had said it a little slower, I would have been right there." So that's where I'm at.
No, well, you're probably better than me, man. I'm still struggling.
I don't think so.
No, I do. Because no one sounds like Duolingo here.
Oh, right.
I'm just like, and then, you know, it's all very different. But I'm trying. That's the main thing. And like you said, the Mexicans are very forgiving. So as long as you put a bit of effort into trying, they're super, super helpful and super, super lovely.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep.
Well, mate, I'm super chuffed that you're on my show. Thank you so much for spending time on your Saturday afternoon to chat with me.
It's a real pleasure. I'm honored. I've heard about your show before, and actually, it's fun. I'm so happy to finally know you because
Yes.
I've been hearing about you for a long time. And
I hope good things. I hope
all good things. Man.
I'm sure there's
all
some shit things going around as well.
None that I've heard. Never a
Really?
bad word. Oh yeah, never a bad word.
I think they keep it to themselves now. I think that's what it is. But no, we'll definitely have to do something soon. It'd be good to catch up. I want to come and see one of your shows as well. So
yeah, likewise. I know for sure.
Time permits.
Yeah.
Crazy, but yeah,
Let's
we'll
do that.
catch up, and maybe we can do something. Maybe we can write an acoustic guitar-y vibe. It would be really cool.
Even if I was going to say that, or also just sing some songs together, just for fun, and then who knows, that's how those things go, Yes,
that'd be lovely.
So I would love that.
Okay, you're on, man. We'll organise something very soon. Absolutely
fantastic.
Right,
all
and
right.
mate, thank you so much, Geordie Austen. People at home, go and find
you,
man. Go and show him some love. You have seen where you can find him on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Bandcamp. I suggest you go there muy pronto and check this guy out. Listen to this guy's music. Download albums, download songs, and download T-shirts. You can't download a T-shirt, but you know what I'm getting at. Go and put your order in. Geordie, thank you so much. We will catch up soon. People at home, I'll speak to you later. We're going to go and watch another one of your videos now.
Mil gracias, hermano.
Por nada, señor. Hasta luego.
Bye.
See you later, mate. Bye-bye. Thank you, Geordie, for being part of my show. And see, I told you, crazy kids, I told you how much you'd like him. Isn't he fantastic? And you're going to hear a little bit more from him in a minute. Please go and find him on his social media platforms, and definitely pop along to his Bandcamp, where you can not only hear, but you can download his music and get one of his T-shirts as well. That would be great. Show the brother some love and support. That would be wonderful. And while you're in the social media vortex, come and check me out on my social media platforms as well. I'm everywhere: TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and probably on numerous websites that I don't even know I'm on. So come and check me out. Come and say hello there as well. I'm going to leave you in a couple of seconds with another video from Geordie. I will see you next week on The Jaden Show, where I have another fantabulous guest. Be good. Have a wonderful week. Stay beautiful. And I will see you next Sunday on The Jaden Show. Take care. Bye-bye.
Listen with my soul in light. You took me down to the sapphire, another lonely bar on the road. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You sat me down chair is swiveled like your undying love. A film is playing on the top shelf. a man of vision, and one who sees past the color red.